Advent means the beginning of an event or the arrival of a person. And so on the Sunday of Advent, we begin our time of waiting and watching for the arrival of God Emmanuel, God born in flesh as an infant Jesus, the beginning of his life among us, the beginning of his ministry and of saving his people. It's the beginning of a new story of God and God's love for his beloved people. In order to accept and embrace a new story, to prepare and welcome this new story, we need to end the old story. The old story has been full of doom and gloom. It's been a story of deceit and destruction, of people who consistently fall short of God's expectations and intentions for them. It's been a story of a people who have strayed far from God, and of a God who, though patient and ever present, has resorted to a drastic move. This Advent, this new beginning of the story of God, coming to live amongst God's children, is a radical love story. It's a new story that invites us to trust God in new ways. But in order to do so, we must let go of the old and make room for the new. We need to clear out and clean up our old ways of doing things and relearn what we've been taught. It means going back to kindergarten in a way, going back to the basics, and examining where we went wrong. The psalmist says, "Make your ways known to me, Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth. Teach it to me, because you are the God who saves me. I put my hope in you all day long. Teach me, Lord. I put my hope in you." When Paul was visiting in Philippi, he said to that community, "I have a prayer for you, that your love might become even more and more rich with knowledge and all kinds of insight. I pray this is so that you will be able to decide what really matters. And so you'll be sincere and blameless on the day of Christ. I pray that you will be filled with the fruit of righteousness that comes from Jesus Christ in order to give glory and praise to God. What really matters. I pray that you will be able to decide what really matters. That our love might become even more and more rich with knowledge and with insight. So what is this new story that we might embrace? What is it that really matters? In accepting a new story, we let go of the ones that don't work anymore, that are no longer relevant, or maybe that we know now are not truthful. What are those stories that we've been told, that we've told, the ones that we've lived for so long? We need to relearn that the poor are not lazy, but are marginalized and eager to work and claim self-sufficiency. We need to relearn that people of color are not ignorant, but are often systemically denied equal access to quality education. We need to relearn that women are not property, but deserve the right to their own agency, and that immigrants are not animals with tainted blood, but people, God's children, seeking a prosperous life for themselves and for their families. We need to relearn that people who are homeless are deserving of a safe place to live. We need to relearn that people with addictions and mental illness are sick with a disease. We need to relearn that people with physical disabilities are differently abled and have so much to contribute. And we need to learn the sacred act of hospitality, that simple kindergarten way of moving over and making room in the line or room in the circle or pulling up another chair to the table, of reaching out a hand to include. In clearing out the old story, throwing away old, outdated beliefs and ways of thinking that don't fit anymore, we open up a space for grace and for love to grow. When we set the table, when we make room for another at the table, we become a family in a new way. We eat together, and if that table isn't big enough, it's time to check our heart, because it's not a table problem, it's a heart problem. This Advent season, we are invited to consider how we might provide a place, a space, a home for the holy. It begins by first opening up space in our mind to re-examine and to reconsider how we think about the other. It asks us to rewrite the old story and to create a new ending. At the installation last week, Reverend Kathy Henry issued this church several charges. They all speak to reaching out to the community, to discover where the needs are, to work to identify those needs that we might meet, to be creative and imaginative in meeting those needs, to open ourselves up and expand our hospitality to those in need, and to be the hope of this community. Her message was to write a new story of ministry together. And we know that each church can't do everything, can't meet every need, can't respond to every issue, but each church can do something. What might that something be? In this season of hope, we ask God to teach us anew what it means to welcome the birth of love amongst us and how we might extend and expand our hospitality. In the season of the world, hospitality and welcoming the stranger, the lost, the alone, the poor, the afraid, the different, the newcomer, is all the more crucial. We are hope for someone. We can be that light in the darkness for someone. We can be the hearth in the cold. We can be the pantry and the closet, the respite, the safe place, and the saving grace. Every door has two sides, doesn't it? It has the inside and it has the outside. Our door stands between all of us on the inside, in the warmth, in the plenty, in the sanctuary where we know love and acceptance. This Christmas season and the new year to come, we can choose to open that door and to let our light and our warmth shine outside. Because hope is standing on the doormat. Amen.